TNT race number 9 is live from iRacing's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Noah Belleville will have control of the field coming down to green. Your points leader with 5 wins this season has Brooklyn's Nick Pressey. To his outside, Grandma Jeannie is in the house enjoying the show. Lefty's going to be watching from home as well. Green flag is out at Indy. Pressey to the lead into turn number 3 and into the chute now. Belleville behind him. It goes 9-4, 4-1, 1-6. Matt Seeger in his second Thursday Night Thunder season driving the driven Camry in the 3rd position. Chevrolet, Dodge, Toyota 1, 2, 3, and one of the Bluegrass Bandits, Briley Wright, rolling in the 4th spot. Emily's also in the house cheering on for Matt Seeger. And if you're in one of the hurricane-affected areas, we hope that you're safe, we hope that you're comfortable, and we hope that you're watching Rick James TV on your sim racing preference. In that 5th position, Kevin Feemster sits ahead of Vinny Iacovazzi and then Donald Ray from Rockwall, Texas. Behind him in that number 5 National Guard machine, he makes up the top 7. Down 3 places from where he started, Chris Fleming. Just trying to keep everybody reminded of his fantastic Talladega win. If genuinely, if you didn't see it, I'm playing, but if you didn't see it, check it out on Rick James TV on YouTube, on Twitch if you can. That last couple of laps, Chris Fleming comes out of nowhere to score that Talladega win. One of my favorite finishes. 4-1 of Noah Belleville's going to work on Nick Pressey. Let's ride on board. Side by side through 3 and 4. Noah Belleville just sneaks ahead of Nick Pressey, who's going to try the crossover out of 4. And then Matt Seeger in the 16 driven Camry wants a piece of this action. Briley Wright behind him in the 2-9. He wants to get a bit closer as well. And Kevin Feemster in the 17 DeWalt machine chasing down the Goodwrench car. Ryan Lindemann in the twin car to the 16 from the Florida area. Hope Lindo is being safe. Hope the entire Lindemann family is safe and ready to go if they need to. And I think it was a couple weeks ago that there were storms and Lindemann had just lost internet connection, gets the computer reconnected and jumps back in the race. This was some weeks ago, but this guy does not quit, and I'm actually excited because it's going to be a bit of not necessarily endurance, but drivers are going to be stretching that fuel as far as they can. We're talking, I say 25 to 30 laps, but that's a gross overestimation of the fuel. It's really going to be approximately 18 laps at most that these drivers are going to be able to go on this tank. Noah Belleville comes into this race with, well, and that's last week's points. I was just saying before this race started, because I had to restart the stream software, that everything just reverts back to the previous week. So these are the updated point standings. Noah Belleville with 5 wins and a 22-point advantage coming into this stage of the season. He sits ahead of Nick Pressey by 1/4 of a second. Let's see what happened to John Honeybrink. He went around on lap 5. The 2-0 NVIDIA car hits the wall once and twice. And Honeybrink Now just getting the race car repaired, I guess, trying to avoid using a fast repair, but he's going to sit in pit road and try and gather himself to come back out. Noah Belleville, on the other hand, he's got no time to think. He's got Nick Pressey behind him trying to take him down for first. Matt Seeger has come oh so close and still been so far away. He's behind Pressey in the 94, who's the direct rival to the 41 right there. You saw it earlier. 22 points. The gap between Pressey in second. Belleville up ahead in that 4-1. Matt Seeger just trying to climb as far as he can in the Drip Diecast and Collectible standings. He finds himself third in the points, 17 markers behind Nick Pressey. So this is his chance to advance following that 94 as close as he can. Further on back, Kevin Feemster in the 1-7 has finally gotten around Briley Wright. This is the pass for the 4th spot. Lines him up beautifully into turn number 3. Battling hard through the corner as well. He finally makes it stick into the 4th corner. Briley in 5th now with Vin Iacovazzi coming up his backside. And then you've got Matt Kent to the inside of rookie Colin McDonough, the Cartoon Network Chevy. Sees Richie Catania just ahead. Kent's going to slide up the racetrack and try and cut off the 39, but he loses speed out of turn number 3. McDonough now has a chance to cross over, but Kent carrying too much speed through the corner, and McDonough will draft down the front straight. 9 laps underway, and we're about halfway done with this fuel run. Noah Belleville doing all the hard work up front. Nick Pressey looks like he's shredding tires, but he wants to be saving that fuel as well to stick behind that 41 machine and possibly go that additional lap. Drivers are going to have to take it all the way to the end of the fuel on lap 18, possibly lap 19, just to be able to go on 3 pit stops. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Caution free for all what will be 9 completed laps. Noah Belleville leads in the 41 with the pride of DeSoto, Missouri cheering him on, and Grandma Jeannie watching from home as well. Matt Seeger's got fans. Emily Seeger's in that chat as well. And then Chris Fleming, our Talladega winner, also on our YouTube chat. Chris, who are you rooting for in this one? Let us know who you've got your money on. Colin McDonough still has his money on himself. The 11th position car, still chasing Matt Kent down. Let's ride with him. Emily Seeger with a shout out for our title sponsor, Drip Diecast and Collectibles. While we're at it, might as well talk about the folks that keep us going. So Drip Diecast and Collectibles, if you don't know, is your #1 Facebook and eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. You're going to see a ton of nostalgic paint schemes tonight, like Noah Belleville in the 41. You've got Kevin Feemster in the 17. Everybody knows the Matt Kenseth colors. They know the Kevin Harvick colors as well. And if you don't know Drip Diecast and Collectibles, you will after tonight. Check them out on eBay and Facebook, Drip Diecast and Collectibles. We've got a link tree link for them as well. I'm going to post that in the Twitch chat. But again, Drip, Diecast, and Collectibles, your #1 online store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia and more. There's your Linktree link, and shout out for Mama Moldy, who's in the house as well, cheering on for Noah Belleville. Richie Catania trying to get to the inside of Ryan Lindemann. Two Floridians side by side. 24 working on that 5-1. Almost 3 wide out of turn #1. Scranton, Pennsylvania's Vinny Iacovazzi on the outside in the 13 Doritos Cool Ranch Chevrolet. He's going to make way for Lindemann in the 5-1. Catania in the 2-4. Lindo slow out of that second corner and 3 wide down the backstretch at Indianapolis. Iacovazzi with the advantage into the third corner, and the Doritos machine now leads Catania in the 2-4. Iacovazzi goes wide. He's got damage on the right front. Ricardo Catania now leads a 2-man tandem with him and Lindemann down that front straight. 2-4, 5-1 with the advantage down the front this time. Haven't talked about this pair. You want to talk about a nostalgic pair of race cars. You know how we mentioned Drip, Diecast, and Collectibles. You'll probably find the Mactonite machine. And, of course, this has got to be my favorite paint scheme of the entire race. Just take one more look at this. See if we can get another great zoomed-in shot. Who doesn't love that 1998-1999 Mark Martin paint scheme? Ran for 2 years. One of the best-looking cars out there. Kevin Feemster also rocking a great paint scheme, and Cody Pennell is in the house as well. If those who remember TNT, they've been watching for years. Cody Pennell coming in his rookie season, I think coming away with 3 wins. The season after that, I think he lapped the entire field at Dover and ended up winning in blistering fashion as well. He says that Feemster is on the run of the century. He's up to 4th. Now working on Matt Seeger for a podium position. Vin Iacovazzi using all of the racetrack, as is Fort Wayne's Ryan Pennell. Legend says he was born in a power plant in Gary, moved to Fort Wayne, a massive fan of the Georgia Bulldogs, and he is our hometown flavor of the week. The local pilot, just a couple hours-ish outside of the city, rolling behind Tommy Withers in that gorgeous paint scheme, and Iacovazzi just trying to hold on for a top 10 spot. The 1-3 Doritos machine in front of Colin McDonough. This is the battle for 10th. I have a feeling this is going to be the battle to watch all night long. This is going to be the thriller right here. Iacovazzi, Catania also is going to be in this mix as well. Catania, Lindemann, they're going to be bringing the sparks tonight. Further up ahead, Kevin Feemster has overtaken Matt Seeger for the 3rd position. Watch how he does it. Calm, cool, collected. 17 to the inside of the 1-6. Makes it stick, just like he got around Briley right. 17 laps into this race. Car 17. 2.5 seconds behind Nick Pressey, who's 1.6 seconds behind Noah Belleville, and we are on the cusp of green flag pit stops. We'll see just who decides to stretch it and who decides to come in early. It's not going to be Belleville. Pressey is in. Pressey is in. Feemster is in. Matt Seeger also on his way in car 16. Donald Ray will assume the third position. Greensburg, Kentucky's Briley Wright will assume the second spot. Orlando's Richie Catania in the 2-4 machine moves up to fourth. And then it's Taiwan's Matt Kent who moves up and rounds out the top 5. Ryan Pennell also stays out. All of the top 8 deciding to stay out. Everybody else coming down for fuel. Pressey comes to a halt. They just crossed the line with just enough fuel to make it. Noah Belleville said he was stuttering at the end of 18 laps, and he's on his way in. Have a listen. 55, the name of the game. He does it calm, cool, collected. Belleville is in. Wright is in. Donald Ray is in. Catania, Kent, Withers stays out. Tommy Withers stays out. New leader, car number 6. Tommy Withers stays out at Indianapolis. He will lead lap number 18. He's at the front of this race. Rookie Colin McDonough to the second position from Nassau in the Bahamas. Elridge George will come in at an alarming rate of speed. He gets it under 55 miles an hour with a puff of smoke from the Sirius Dodge, up 11 places from where he started and praying for a caution. Tommy Withers at the front of this race with the rookie McDonough 1.5 seconds behind him. Tires are up to temp. Seeger is on the attack. Pit stops will cycle through. Tommy Withers decides he will stay out. Withers stays out. He's going to lead lap number 19 as well. Colin McDonough is in. Even Elridge George, who has a knack for just staying out for laps and laps and laps and laps, finally decides that it's his turn to come in. Tommy Withers stays out. How about Nick Pressey getting around Noah Belleville just out of pit road? Watch this. Pressey has his tires up to temp, his car's up to speed. He gets around Noah Belleville for the second position while we wait for the cycle to complete itself. Denise Lindemann cheering for number 5-1. Ryan, shout out to the folks over in Inverness. You know, I've been to the Scottish Inverness, but never the Florida Inverness. I wonder if there's any similarities. The Driven Machine, currently running in the 8th position, up 1 place from where he started. Tommy Withers decides it's his turn to come in. Austin Mongold with what I think is a SpongeBob SquarePants quote, but I think that might say more about how much I've seen SpongeBob and what he's talking about. But in any case, 21 laps underway at Indianapolis. A third of a second between the leaders. And didn't I tell you, Iacovazzi and Catania are going to battle side by side. From Orlando by way of North New Jersey, Richie Catania in the 8th position. And Vin Iacovazzi in the 9th position behind him, looking to get one more. Ryan Pennell gets around Tommy Withers, who is now exiting the pits. However, he pitted on lap 20. If he goes, the strategy is going to be really, really close, because we now know if he goes another 20 laps, he can make it on 3 stops. The problem is this. After this first cycle, he's in 13th compared to his rivals, let's say Ryan Pennell, who just zoomed around him, and there's now a almost 4 second difference between them. We'll see just how far that fuel is going to help. Richie Catania went green last time around. He's peeling away from Iacovazzi. Donald Ray also went green. 51.48, his personal best at the front. Snaking down the back. Belleville goes for the lead. He looks outside. Pressey throws a huge block. Nick has to be smoother with those blocks. He's going to get himself into the wall. He's going to just upset the balance of the car like it is there. He got an entrance that was way too shallow, set himself up with that extremely heavy block. 41 to the inside, the advantage, and now will he make the lead stick? Pressey puts him down to the inside wall. Belleville has the line. Pressey will concede the position. Will he try the crossover now? He will not. New leader, car 41. Car number 13, Vin Iacovazzi, drag racing with Richie Catania into turn number 1. The magic number here is going to be lap 35, lap 36, when you'll see these drivers come down again for tires, fuel, and everything else that they might need. Caution free so far at Indianapolis, 175 miles. Our expected length, and with our now updated drip, diecast, and collectibles track facts, drivers going between 15 to 20 laps on one tank of fuel. Got to get that updated there, and then already looking at next week. Iowa Speedway. And if you've never seen Gen 4 cars, even at iRacing at Iowa Speedway, just go tune in next week. It's going to be crazy. Ryan Lindemann, hopefully he'll be there as well. He's holding on to 7th nicely. Richie Catania trying to get around Iacovazzi while Matt Kent creeps in the distance, and Ryan Pinnell says, I want some of that top 10. On board with the 1-2. (13:24) running 8th and 9th. Elridge George looks like he is out of this race. John Honeybrink may have had another incident and just trying to, no, he's coming out of the pits now. Still fighting. Noah Belleville pulling away from Nick Pressey, and again, Belleville not doing his gas tank any favors, but possibly trying to play the role of the hare, getting Pressey to use more resources, trying to chase him down. I don't know. It's a theory. 26 laps now complete of the scheduled 70 at Indianapolis. Richie Catania riding behind the 13, and they've now caught up to Lindo in that 5-1. The driven Car Wash Chevrolet in that 7th position, and there is 8th and 9th behind him. This is going to be fun to watch. Lindemann trying to get a great exit out of the corner, but Iacovazzi has a beautiful run, and he's going to just sneak to the inside there. Catania, will he follow the 13? Does he have the room to follow the 13 into turn number 3? Richie Catania says, yes, I'll follow Vinny. Ryan Lindemann watches the 13-24 combo shoot around him, and you almost think now that they're you know, their drafting here is almost mutually beneficial. Richie can draft behind the 13, possibly push if need be to try and get him just a little further down the racetrack, but this tandem is slowly getting higher and higher up the running order. Now it's another 5.5 seconds to Donald Ray. Granted, the Texan driver trying to get a little bit closer to Briley Wright, and you can see last time around, Ray was almost half a second quicker than Briley Wright. The National Guard machine creeping up to the Goodwrench Chevrolet. Briley falling behind Matt Seeger. It's 6 1/3 seconds and counting. Kevin Feemster gets around Matt Seeger and stays around Matt Seeger, but over the last few laps, Seeger has been reeling in Kevin Feemster, and now that he's caught him, how is he going to get around him? Let's go on board. Matt Seeger in that 16, 4/10 of a second behind him, and 30 laps now underway at Indy. $40 to go next time by. If you just tuned in, we've run caution-free these 30 laps so far. These two getting closer. Does Seeger save his fuel? Does he try to push the envelope and get around the DeWalt Ford? I'm really excited to see where this one ends up. Richie and Vinny running in 7th and 8th, trying to get... What in the hell is he doing? I was going to say Richie's trying to get some distance ahead of Vincenzo Iacovazzi, and he almost puts 2 tires in the grass to get around Vincenzo Iacovazzi. Can we run that back? See if we can run this back here. I want to see exactly what Richie was trying out of turn number 2. That's amazing. Check this out. I think he's just trying to break the draft as best he can. And that's what it looks like from Iacovazzi's point of view. Back to live pictures there. Looks like Vinny really gave it a big slide out of turn number 1, and Richie now starting to peel away, but a terrible exit. Looks like Richie's in the wall. Catania's in the wall. He's got damage on the right front. Here comes Iacovazzi to his outside. Richie with good speed into the corner, but not enough to hold off car 13. Ryan Lindemann now has a mirror full of Matt Kent, and now a wounded 24 car 4 laps before the green flag pit stop. If Richie can hold on, he's not in terrible shape, but it's not a track where you can just carry damage running at such high speeds like this. Matt Kent now working. There's Kent in the 31, now just trying to get behind the 5-1, maybe get a good run into the corner. He slides up the racetrack to the left-hand side of the driven Chevrolet. Lindemann will watch Kent go to the inside and just dive into the corner. That is the pass for the 9th position. Vin Iacovazzi still ahead of that 2-4, and we're anxiously waiting for drivers to make it into pit lane. Greatest camera angles in sim racing. By the way, if you watch Talladega and you see now, sometimes we just pull out some of those beautiful camera angles that really make the broadcast shine. Ryan Pennell has an eye on the top 10. The Fort Wayne native creeping up on Ryan Lindemann. Trying to slowly reel in the blue and orange Chevrolet. His counterpart in the blue and orange 16-driven Camry. Is he getting any closer to Kevin Feemster? The numbers say maybe. Last time around, a quarter of a tenth quicker, almost stagnant this time around. Two-tenths slower. Matt Seeger either preparing for the pits or he's just lost the tires. He's lost the fire in the car. Something's going on here. That race car is skating. You can almost hear the tire squeal. You can hear how ginger he's being with that throttle. Tommy Withers, who's in the 13th position, trying to get a leg up on Colin McDonough. Remember, Withers was able to save his fuel and then pit on lap number 20. He can go further than everybody else if he's saved more fuel, but it's not a guarantee. All eyes on leader Noah Belleville, now entering lap number 35. He has a 3.7 second lead on Nick Pressey. Has the 94 been an extreme, been in an extreme conservation mode? Or has the 41 of Noah Belleville just simply been that much better? Looking for a 6th win at Indianapolis. Ryan Lindemann looks like he's in the wall as Ryan Pennell gets to his left-hand side. One Ryan swapping places with the other. That's 10th place for Pennell. Iacovazzi has Catania trying to bring him back towards the front end of that 24. Looks like hitting the wall didn't do much damage for him. Nick Pressey's going to come into the pits a bit out of control. Here comes Kevin Feemster as well. Under 55 miles an hour. Same thing for Matt Seeger. We'll see who else decides to come into the pits. Texas Donald Ray is on his way in. Briley Wright's going to move into second, and it's an 18-second gap between Noah Belleville in the lead and now Briley Wright in second under this green flag pit stop cycle. Richie Catania moves into third. Tommy Withers, as predicted, stays out. McDonough in the 39. Nick Pressey rejoining the race in 7th after pitting on lap 35. Kevin Feemster behind him as well. Matt Seeger in his shadow. Belleville is in. Pressey on cold tires has to get a move on, but he cannot go so hard that he then wrecks the race car. Ryan Lindemann also coming out of the pits. Tommy Withers. He will now take over the second position. Everybody waiting on Noah Belleville to make a move. Car 41 is down. He's away. And Nick Pressey, there is the 94, the drip die-cast Chevrolet, now trying to chase down the 41 of Noah Belleville. How's this going to end up? Last time, Pressey just got around the 41. Noah Belleville really trying to get as much speed as he can. Look at him using all of the pit lane access road, and this time it's not even close. Car 41 rejoins in the lead. The 94 so far behind that the draft makes no difference. Noah Belleville attacks pit road brilliantly. He rejoins the race in 4th, and he already has a 2 1/4 second lead on Nick Pressey. Briley Wright is in. Tommy Withers is your new leader. McDonough pitted on lap 19. Noah Belleville entering turn number 3. I'm sorry, turn 1. Nick Pressey over 2 seconds behind him. Ryan Pennell now following behind Richie Catania in that 2-4. 0.3 of a second the gap, and the Pepsi Chevrolet now under attack from the Mac Tonight machine. Tommy Withers still at the top of the tree. Noah Belleville just went purple. And there is the NVIDIA Chevrolet of John Honeybrink ahead of Noah Belleville. 20 car on the left-hand side, 41 on the outside. It's going to buy Tommy Withers a little bit of breathing room, but only just a couple of tenths. 51:11. Fastest lap so far. Noah Belleville now leading by 2.5 seconds over Nick Pressey. Vin Iacovazzi in the 13, now working on the 31 of Matt Kent. That's 8th and 9th. Irrespective of their position, Vinny hanging it out way too wide, and he scrapes the wall yet again. Richie Catania, 51:70, his quickest time. He just went green. Kevin Feemster, Matt Seeger, 6/10 apart, and another podium position just ahead of Matt Seeger. He's got to give it just a bit more, stretch a bit harder, but also take care of the race car and his fuel mileage. So close to a win at Laguna Seca, so close to a podium as well. Close enough to getting a win at Talladega with just a couple of laps to go, and he's just a reach out of 4th place. Well, what will be 3rd. Noah Belleville takes the lead as Tommy Withers comes into the pits. There's Nick Pressey in the 2nd position. And 9 seconds beyond them is the battle for 3rd. Matt Seeger watching Kevin Feemster just inch away, and he will snake down the front straight. The gap now 3/4 of a second between them. And Vin Iacovazzi watching Matt Kent starting to reel away. Vincenzo Iacovazzi decides to tag the wall a couple of times, and he's going to give it some tackles out there. Speaking of tackles, last week Emily and I were talking about we're interested in the football game. I think the Bucs and the Falcons were playing. That one I think went to overtime and had an awesome finish. Tonight, San Francisco is leading Seattle in Seattle 16-0. Seattle with the ball on their own 31-yard line. They're going to try run up the middle, and it's going to be 2nd and 7 for the Seahawks, trying to march towards their first points of the game. Everyone's spread out. Everyone on the racetrack is now calm after that pit stop cycle, and they have room to breathe. Noah Belleville just looking to put a whooping on the rest of the field as well. Cody Pennell talking about the Falcons. He says the Dirty Birds are winning the South this year. Cody, were you watching that Falcons game last week? You remember how that one ended? Because I think the Falcons got the ball in overtime and ended up scoring on their first drive in overtime, if I remember correctly, but I could be super wrong. Vin Iacovazzi continues to hang the race car wide out there. Colin McDonough, who's the first car one lap down, not fighting for position, but every little bit helps. And he and Iacovazzi are going to find themselves closer than ever quite shortly. Caution-free, 44 laps into this race. McDonough in the 39, behind the 13 of Iacovazzi, not for position. There's the next driver up, Tommy Withers, who's on an odd pit strategy. He went 20 laps on the first stint length, 20 laps on the second stint length. Looking at the running order here, let's see if we can map out just who pits next. Withers in the 6th car. trying to get a bit closer to Ryan Lindemann. 1 second is the gap there. Looking at those stint lengths, you see Belleville went 18 laps each time. There's Belleville right there. Pressey in the distance, able to go 17 laps, 18 laps. And if he can go 19 laps, he may just have an advantage on fuel mileage. But Belleville said he's calculated this. If he can go 18 laps each run, he'll make it to the end on fuel by his calculations, just barely. Drivers like Tommy Withers, on the other hand, trying to go 20 laps on each run. We'll see what the difference adds up to at the end of the race, but I'm genuinely interested to see just what happens. Plenty of racing to go. We did cross the halfway mark 10 laps ago. 45 laps about to be complete, and there's the man to do it. Noah Belleville from DeSoto, Missouri, up 4 places on Nick Pressey and trying to score his 6th victory this season, marching on his way to his first Thursday Night Thunder Championship. Pressey, 2 points behind him. I'm sorry, 22 points behind him, excuse me. Both drivers with an average finish of 5th, but again, those 5 wins making the difference for Noah Belleville. And Matt Seeger only 17 markers behind Nick Pressey, but Seeger has his own issues to deal with, and it looks like Kevin Feemster in the Matt Kenseth Ford. Further on back, some more pertinent action. Richie Catania, 0.6 of a second ahead of Vin Iacovazzi and Vinny. How many times is this boy going to hit the wall? That is the 3rd time that I've personally seen the 13 car nail the wall just as he's trying to catch up to the 24, and that puts Ryan Pennell in a great position. Pennell in the 1-2 with Iacovazzi, 0.4 of a second behind him. 22 laps to go next time by at Indianapolis. And hopefully I spelled Indianapolis right this time. I think at Talladega I had, not only did it say Laguna Seca, but it was spelled incorrectly too. So it just looked bad altogether. John Honeybrink, I tell you what, he just went green. 52.08 seconds. He's picking up speed. Finds himself 3 laps off the pace, but again, he's trying his best. He's fighting, and we absolutely love to see that. Pennell starting to run away with the 9th position, up 6 places from where he started and making his home state of Indiana proud. Also catching up to Richie Catania. 3 out of the last 5 laps. Pennell has been quicker than the Floridian Catania. Kevin Feemster now has a mirror full of Matt Seeger. This is 3rd place up for grabs once again. Seeger, if he can just focus and dig in. They only pitted 13 laps ago, so Seeger can catch up to Feemster, but there just seems to be a difference almost in the way that they attack and then exit pit lane, that Matt Seeger almost just has a bit of an issue just sticking behind Kevin Feemster. Track's only getting faster. The track is only getting cooler. This is Feemster ahead of Seeger. 2:0 to go next time by. Noah Belleville with a 5.4 second lead on Nick Pressey. Looking back at the Seahawks game, about 28 seconds to go before the first half ends. Seahawks down 16 points to the 49ers as they take a timeout. Mongold in the chat as well. He's a big Bucks fan. And Mongold, you tell me, how did that... Because I can't remember for the life of me how the Falcons game ended last week. I know it went to overtime, didn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Matt Seeger, a big fan of those Falcons. He's chasing down Kevin Feemster still. And at this point, I wonder if the goal is even to pass Kevin Feemster or if the goal is just to stick with him just to save that extra bit of fuel. Waiting for the next round of pit stops. Drivers last pitting on lap 36. If you give them another 18 laps to run, 54 is going to be that magic number for the final pit stop. And Noah Belleville, if he gets to 54, he will be 2 laps. Good. But if that late race caution comes out and track position is on the line, you better believe that everybody's going to be coming in for fuel. But what of Tommy Withers, who pits every 20 laps instead of some drivers who pit every 17 or every 18? Is he going to have enough speed while everybody else is making this pit stop to go that distance? And will it really be enough for him? Looks like it's going to be a pass interference on the 49ers as the Seahawks are trying to throw for the end zone. And they're going to get 4 more chances to burn 16 seconds and score a touchdown here before the end of the first half. And if it isn't John Fry in the house, it has been a very long time. Fry Dog, for those that know. But John Fry probably watching the Seahawks game as well. It is going to be pass interference on the 49ers, so the Seahawks are going to get, I think half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down. So we'll see if they can put up some points before the first half ends. Donald Ray and Briley Wright having a more close battle than that NFL game. Love you too, Fry Dog. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. For those that don't know, if you all don't know John Fry, one of the OGs from the Xbox days. Haven't raced with him, haven't talked with him in a very long time, but always a good name to have around the house. Briley Wright trying to get one over on Donald Ray. He makes the move down the back straight, and they're going to drag race for the 5th position. Car number 5 down to position number 6. Car 29 cracks the top 5. Well, he did, and he just blinked out of existence. Now Briley Wright back on the racetrack. Watch this. Donald Ray decides he's going to come into the pits. Nick Pressey, Kevin Feemster also into the pits as well. Tommy Withers pits early. He decides he's on his way out. That's going to put him on a similar cycle to everybody else. Nick Pressey pitting with 17 laps to go. Noah Belleville decides he's going to come in. Matt Seeger, does he stay out and take the lead momentarily? Does he gamble on the caution, or does he wait on his race craft to put him into the podium before this one's over? 3rd and goal with 3 seconds to go in the second quarter. Ball thrown into the end zone, and it looks like it's no touchdown for DK Metcalf. Matt Seeger's also going to come into the pits. Richie Catania rounding turn number 4. Does the Floridian come in? He will. He's really loose out of turn number 4. Ryan Pennell's going to get a great entrance into the pits as well. He's going to have to put the binders on and throw up some smoke. Tommy Withers will stay out. Noah Belleville now leaving pit lane, enters and leaves as the race leader. There's Nick Pressey coming down the front straight, and it looks like it's going to be a new cycle, but the same story. Noah Belleville using all of the pit lane access road, gains all of that speed, and Nick Pressey is left in his dust. 15 laps to go, and barring a late race caution, that may be the game-winning move. Noah Belleville has been on his job today in that 41, going for win number 6. If you just tuned in, it's been mostly incident-free. We've gone caution-free for all of our 55 laps in this race. 15 laps remain, and Noah Belleville looking for his 6th win this season, looking for his first Thursday Night Thunder Championship. Kevin Feemster, 1 1/3 seconds, the gap between him and Matt Seeger. Seeger attacking pit lane with much more ferocity, and this time just 1.5 seconds behind Seeger. Tommy Withers, he pitted on lap 52 with the rest of the field, but with the extra fuel he's had, if there was any extra fuel on that run, it looks like he's absolutely good to go towards the end of this race. Now chasing down Vinny Iacovazzi for the 10th position. We put up the times to illustrate that purple number in the corner. 51.103, the fastest lap today, and it's our leader, Noah Belleville, who puts another 7/10 on Nick Pressey. The gap increases. Withers wants the 10th spot from Iacovazzi, who hits the wall again. Withers on the attack. Now it's Withers that's in the wall. And Iacovazzi gets some breathing space. Ten laps to go next time by. What a race it's been for Noah Belleville. What a race it's been for the middle of the pack as well. Richie Catania, Vinny Iacovazzi, Tommy Withers, Ryan Pennell, all getting into a healthy mix of action. Briley Wright and Donald Ray, they got close a few laps ago. These two are going to continue fighting hard, and then it's a race for the lucky dog. If a late race caution comes out, almost contact between the 13 and the 6. How close was that? Yakovazzi gets in the wall and avoids getting into the race leader. Tommy Withers now on the run, but it is a futile effort for this driver right here. Noah Belleville has been on fire today, and barring any mistakes, barring any crashes, 9 at the line next time by, and Belleville will be on his way to a 6th victory this season. Fans at home, don't forget, the next race on the circus is at the Iowa Speedway. Right here, 8:40 Eastern on Rick James TV, and the week after that, round 11 at the Michigan International Speedway. Then the Halloween break and the run to the finish, the final 6 races of the 9th TNT season. Of course, brought to you by Drip Diecast and Collectibles. And if you love any of the nostalgic cars you see today, like this 6 car, this 41 car, the 24 of Richie Catania, everybody loves a Jeff Gordon car. Briley Wright in the 2.9 Goodwrench machine, where's he? Look at that beautiful thing. Everybody remembers the junior paint scheme, the Dale Earnhardt Jr. National Guard machine. All of these paint schemes you can find on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. It is your #1 eBay and Facebook store for all sorts of NASCAR and sports memorabilia as a whole. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your #1 eBay and Facebook store for all NASCAR memorabilia and more. Putting a link tree in the Twitch chat. Check them out. Get a gift for yourself. Get a gift for somebody that you love. Get your piece of NASCAR history from Drip Diecasts and Collectibles. 7 to go. Track only gets faster. Colin McDonough, 51.63, his quickest lap. Not racing Yakovazzi for position, but that right rear quarter panel is getting a workout today. Vinny has been slapping that thing against the wall, but still holding a top 11 position. Good for him. Over the last 5 laps, Tommy Withers has been pulling away. Feemster and Seeger getting closer. Look at the high line that Feemster ran. Here comes Seeger. He's got that draft last time around. There's the gap we're looking for. 0.2 of a second was what the clock said. Let's go on board with Matt Seeger. Feemster just not quick enough. There is the immediate gap between them, now dipping below 0.9 of a second. Matt Seeger wants that podium so bad. Look at the gap between himself and Nick Pressey. 17 points. As it stands, Belleville, Pressey, Seeger running 1, 2, 3 in this race. The points gap will only increase, but Seeger can keep the pressure on Nick Pressey. Kevin Feemster just looking to climb into the top 15, but what a run it's been for him today. He's looking for a 3rd position. And special mention to John Honeybrink, running in 14th, doing his absolute best job right now, still enjoying his racing. You have to love that. You have to tip your cap to the guys that stay in it just for the love of the game, man, and that is John Honeybrink. Shout out this guy right here. The NVIDIA Chevrolet makes all the room in the world for Kevin Feemster and Matt Seeger. Gentlemen, classy, John Honeybrink through and through. Matt Seeger within 0.6 to Kevin Feemster, and that orange and white Camry is just getting bigger. The gap is back up to more than a second between Matt Seeger and Kevin Feemster. Richie Catania now working on Matt Kent for the 7th position. Here comes the DuPont Chevrolet working on the Cartoon Network Monte Carlo, and Richie has the juice. He's got the bit between the teeth working on that spot. And it's 5 more miles at the racing capital of the world, Noah Belleville, with 2 laps to go. And the theme of this season for Noah Belleville has really been us just picking on him, making fun of him, because for the longest time he kept talking about how he was going to run a full-time season. And he said he was going to run full-time, and something always came up. You know, really never his fault. He just could not commit the time to running 16 races in a season. And often enough, that's what's kept him out of the championship running. This time, not anymore. Richie Catania trying to give it everything on Matt Kent. It looks like he just might have thrown it away there, sending it in really deep into turn number 3. Watch this. Oh, 31 looks like he's throwing some heavy blocks on the 24. Let's see what happened, or maybe he just got loose out of the corner. Drag racing through turn number 3. Let's see what happens. Richie just sends it in too deep, gets way too high, and tags the wall. Fewer than 2.5 miles remain for the Pride of DeSoto, Missouri. Finally, finding the time to commit to a full-time Thursday Night Thunder season, and this might finally be his year. The 9th campaign of Thursday Night Thunder has been just dominated by the 41 Target Chip Ganassi Dodge, and the dominance will continue. The Pride of Fort Wayne ahead of him. Ryan Pennell sits ahead of Noah Belleville, who comes off of turn number 4 with the front stretch expanding in front of him and the checkered flag on the horizon. Noah Belleville will win race number 9 at Indy. Tommy Withers will come home in the 10th position, back to Matt Kent. It looks like he's going to come home with that 7th spot. Belleville, winner again at Indianapolis. 6 wins this season. Nick Pressey will come home for 2nd. And another Indiana native, Kevin Feemster, crosses the line for a 3rd place finish this season. And my favorite Darrell Waltrip noise as we get a new follower, Smatchmo, following on Twitch. Welcome to Rick James TV, brother. Every time you follow, Darrell Waltrip says 200 miles a damn hour, and that's my favorite thing. Belleville's fans cheering him on in the chat. Colin McDonough in the 39 also offering his congratulations and a 6th victory this season for the Target Chip Ganassi Dodge. Noah Belleville, what a run, what a season it's been so far, and a great way to start the second half of the season. See if he can, there you go, get a full donut in there. He's going to burn the house down. He's going to celebrate. We're going to have Noah Belleville on the podium, as well as Nick Pressey and Kevin Feemster. Matt Seeger with an honorable mention as Emily cheers him on with a 4th place finish. Belleville with an impressive run yet again, and next week we get to see if he's going to do it again at the Iowa Speedway. I'm interested to see. We're going to have Noah Belleville, Nick Pressey, and Kevin Feemster on the podium in just a minute. On the podium with our top three, starting with our bronze medalist, one of our two native Hoosiers in today's race. Kevin Feemster repping for the great state of Indiana, coming home with a bronze medal. Great job.
Track was fun. It was slick and tight at the end of the run. It was just a lot of fun. It didn't get to race many people. Once we got out, we got kind of strung out. 1, 2, 3 there. Matthew Seeger and me kind of, I think that's the only really battle I had all night. But it was a nice, clean race tonight. 2 weeks in a row on podiums. Can't complain. I'm on this little bit of a podium run and everywhere, so hopefully the win comes soon. But Mr. Noah up there, I don't know if I'll ever get one in TNT. But all in all, great night.
Great night for you, and you finally cracked the top 15 in points, which means you'll be on next week's points chart at Iowa. Congratulations on bronze.
Hey, thanks, Rick.
Pride of Brooklyn, New York, Nick Pressey comes home with a silver medal. And Nick, the points lead grows at the top, but your consistency also continues to impress. An average finish of 4th this season. And next week, going into Iowa, what's going to be the strategy to do one better and finally win?
Right at this point. I don't know. We've been putting a lot of practice in, but Noah, it's just like when we were in A-Rock, managed to edge me out at the end uh, of the stints. So I ended up wondering what I had to do. I pushed myself so hard I had to take some of my asthma medicine on my last pit stop. Um, but Iowa, I mean, it's a pretty good track for me. Uh, you know, Noah doesn't have an off day, so I've just got to figure out how to match him. I don't know what I'm missing yet, and I'll be looking really hard over the next week because I do want to stay in this. Uh, but he did a real good job today.
See you in a week's time at Iowa. Congratulations on your second place finish. And now to our race leader in the number 41 Target Chip Ganassi Dodge with a 6th victory this season, and unofficially with a 28-point lead headed into next week's race. Noah, what made the difference? Because fuel was extremely tight.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because I mean the first stint, me, Pressy, and Seeger we're all kind of just right there. And then after the first pit stop, we kind of just started getting spread out. So I'm not really too sure what happened for me to be able to pull that lead. But yeah, another really good points day and another win.
The all-time record for wins in a TNT season is 8 by Tom Sears and Aiden Norman. You have 6 with 7 races remaining in the season, and all you need is 3 wins to have the all-time wins list in a single TNT season. Is that the goal now, or are we still championship focused?
Actually, that has been in the back of my mind. I am racing for a championship, but I kind of been texting Aiden and messing with him, saying, I'm one more closer. I'm one more closer." Like just counting down to Aiden, trying to beat his record.
You are one more win there. Great shot of you doing your donuts. Great celebration shot there for you as well. But that's true. It's one more win, one win closer to the record, but one step at a time, I suppose. Congratulations on getting the W again tonight. We'll see you at Iowa.
Yep, thank you.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for tonight's race. Noah Belleville triumphant for the 6th time this season. Records looking weak. And, of course, one more race to go. There we go. Let's bring up those upcoming events there. Next week, right here on Rick James TV, the Iowa Speedway hosts Round 10 in our 9th TNT season. And then Round 11 at the Michigan International Speedway. And then we get the Halloween break and the run to the finish. All exclusively right here on Rick James TV on Twitch and YouTube. A big thank you to everybody who helps us put these races together week in and week out, and especially you for tuning in if this is your first minute of TNT or if you've been with us since day one. Can't do it without you, and we appreciate every second you put in. Until that next race, everyone please stay safe, do take care of each other, and we will